Hey, you bit Steve from that old Yorkshire geek, and we've had Star Wars Celebration this weekend. And rather than me do individual stories, news items about the news as it happened, I thought I'd just wait until it's all done with, and then we just have a look at the things that have interested me. Apologies for my hair. I've been in the shower. It's Easter. I've been in for me. I've had my Easter shower. I have a shower every Easter and Christmas, whether I need it or not. I'm lying. I went on my birthday as well. Ha ha! I'm kidding. I don't do it that often. Anyway, so Star Wars Celebration. We're in Japan for some reason. I hope everybody there spoke English because there were a little bit of Japanese. I didn't watch all the videos, by the way, all the streams, because they were on middle of the night. So I just looked at some of the highlight stuff. I've got Screen Rant lined up because they were that's kind of the best place to get a breakdown of all the individual news items, I suppose you could say. Even better than the Star Wars website, which is kind of all over the place. But anyway, so here we go. Let's have a look. But before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed already. Explore the description with my finger, there it is, for stuff, links for stuff like merch. I can't do that because, well, I can, but I've got a blank t-shirt on. For merch, my books, which are on Amazon, Kindle and paperback, and other links for other stuff. And you can become a member, like these cool people, wherever they're popping up. Currently members of the channel. You get exclusive videos and early access videos, stuff like that. I've started doing audio commentaries for some movies, which I'm enjoying doing, and they're for members only. And there we go. There we are. So Screen Rant, all the biggest reveals from Celebration in one place, which is what we want, isn't it? Right, so off we go. Right, so I'll just read the article, shall we? What the hell? Star Wars Celebration 2025 has already been full of surprising announcements. Here's everything you need to know about the Star Wars news from this action-packed weekend. It won't really. There are numerous thrilling Star Wars Celebration 2025 panels taking place throughout the weekend. Many panels are expected to provide major reveals about Star Wars. Didn't they wrote this before? About Star Wars upcoming movies and Star Wars upcoming TV shows. Anyway, so let's just get on with it, shall we? So Hayden Christensen, not Christiansen, is returning in Ahsoka Season 2, as are several shocking characters, it says here. So here we go. In an announcement that many were expecting, but was still thrilling all the same, Hayden Christensen's return as Anakin Skywalker has been confirmed for Ahsoka Season 2. It did appear in Season 1, remember, when she went to when she fell off that cliff or whatever, and she went to the world beyond world, or whatever the hell it's called. And she went, we saw young Ahsoka, didn't we, during the Clone Wars. Anyway, the panel, which included Christensen, Dave Filoni and Rosario Dawson, also revealed a number of shocking details about the upcoming season, such as Admiral Akbar's return. Yay! He didn't die in The Last Jedi, which is, of course, in the future of the Ahsoka series. Zeb Aurelius's first Ahsoka appearances, so he's showing himself in various places, isn't he? Because he's in the Mandalorian and Grogu, terrible name, trailer, which I think we'll get to in a bit. Return of the Mortis gods, which were hinted at the end of Season 1, wasn't it, when we saw Bale and Skull on top of that big statue. That was one of the Mortis gods, wasn't it? The recasting of Rory McCann as Bale and Skull, because the late, great Ray Stevenson passed away, unfortunately. But Rory McCann is no Ray Stevenson, is it? I imagine he'll do okay, but we'll see. He doesn't have the voice, though, does he? I don't think. He's kind of gruff, isn't he? And everything I've seen him in, Ray Stevenson could enunciate. He were a good actor, Ray Stevenson. And I'm sure Rory McCann's a good actor, but everything I've seen him in is kind of a gruff. It's not exactly Shakespearean, is it? But you never know, it might surprise us. A showdown between Ahsoka Tano and Bale, and so there we go. So that's coming up for Ahsoka Season 2. Season 1, it started off okay for me and kind of got stupid and rubbish. Lucasfilm officially announces Sean Levy's upcoming movie, Star Wars Starfighter. So this makes us wonder what's going to happen with wrote the Rogue Squadron movie. But does it mean Starfighter? Yes, it must mean Starfighter, as in like X-wings, B-wings, etc. Because I think they've put a poster out, haven't they, that shows, I think, an X-wing. So it's not just somebody who fights amongst the stars, if you know what I mean. Anyway, Levy's movie will officially star Ryan Gosling, and there he is in Blade Runner 2049, which was boring. I'm not a huge fan of Ryan Gosling, to be honest. I find him a bit bland. Don't know why he's become this massive star. But anyway, one of the biggest Star Wars Celebration 2025 announcements so far has been the news that Sean Levy's Star Wars movie, Star Wars Starfighter, will star Ryan Gosling. This announcement additionally confirmed, right, Starfighter will be set a few years after Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. The movie's release date is May 28th, 2027, nearly my birthday. Starfighter is a standalone movie with unique characters, not a prequel or sequel, but they've set it in a specific time period, so it's after the Rise of Skywalker. So I wonder what's going to be happening in there. Is it going to be about what's left of the First Order? Probably. Obviously the First Order will be in chaos after the death of Palpatine again. Will the New Republic rise again? Who knows? We'll find out, won't we? If it gets made, because you never know. A lot of these announcements I'm taking with a pinch of salt, because they're always announcing stuff at these Star Wars celebrations. I don't think there's any mention of the Daisy Ridley movie. Remember that were announced 2 years ago when they marched out, poor Daisy Ridley out onto stage. 2 years ago, bloody hell. We've still not seen hide nor hair of that film, have we? Apart from Daisy Ridley saying, "Oh, there's a script on the way." She's been saying that for 2 years and they still haven't got one. Right, Darth Maul animated TV show announced. Maul is returning to the animated Star Wars screen in Maul Shadow Lord. So I'm guessing it'll be in the style of the Clone Wars Rebels series, I'm guessing. Which is okay, because that's a popular style and one that they've used before, obviously. In a shocking twist, Star Wars announced a brand new Darth Maul animated TV show, Maul Shadow Lord. Details about this new show so far include the return of Sam Witwer as the voice of Darth Maul, the focus on Maul's role as the leader of a crime syndicate during the Imperial era, which was set up in Solo, wasn't it? He was the leader. I forgot the name of him now. That were in the movie Solo: Star Wars Story, because he appeared weirdly at the end of that, didn't he? With his robot legs and his lightsaber, he ignited his lightsaber for no reason, but anyway, in the hologram. The introduction of a dark side apprentice who may or may not be Talon, which would be cool if it was, and the 2026 release date, so that's next year. So it must be well into production. So there'll be more information coming out about that. But if it's coming out next year, it's probably just about done, to be honest. To be completely honest. But did we want a series about Darth Maul? Obviously they did, didn't they? But anyway. And then there's the logo for it. Kind of very big, Conan-ish, isn't it? Sort of that fantasy sort of motif they're going for. Right, exclusive footage from The Mandalorian and Grogu gives first glimpse of the movie. Footage shown only at Celebration, not released to the public, although somebody did leak it, but I don't know if you can still see it anywhere, I don't know, but I've not seen it. Provided new details, because that's from the end of Season 3, the not great Season 3 of The Mandalorian. Because he's an evil little get, isn't he? Is Grogu. I don't like the character at all. He's playing with the frog. He's like teasing animals. He's either eating them or just teasing them, isn't he? He's a Sith. He's genuinely a Sith. He told Luke Skywalker where to stick his lightsaber, didn't he? I'm going back with the Mandalorian. If he could talk, he said. Anyway, I don't think they'll ever show him talking. I don't think he'll ever grow up. I don't think he'll be like Bart Simpson. He'll just stay that age forever. I hate it. But anyway, brand new footage of Star Wars' next movie, The Mandalorian and Grogu, was also shown to audiences at Star Wars Celebration 2025, although it was not shared online. As Screen Rant's own Molly Brizzell is on the ground, though, we know that this footage included a battle between Din Djarin and Imperials inside an Imperial walker. And apparently, it looks amazing, from what I've heard. Sigourney Weaver's currently unnamed Star Wars character. She does look really good in because we see her in like an X-wing pilot out, uniform. She looks really good. Jabba the Hutt's son Rota. Is it Rota or Rota? I have no idea. But remember, we first saw him in the Clone Wars movie. The animated movie that was released theatrically. And everybody says it's rubbish. I don't mind it, to be honest. It's not great. I don't mind it. We first saw him in that as a baby, didn't we? Because Ahsoka and Anakin had to go rescue him, didn't they? But he's all grown up now and buff. He's all muscly and he does arena fighting. I don't know how that works because he can't move about quickly. Shirley. Don't call him Shirley. Anyway. The return of the Razor Crest over Navarro. I'm guessing it's not the Razor Crest. It'll be another one because the first one got blown up, didn't it? By the Imperial Remnant. By a remnant destroyer, not a destroyer, cruiser. It was a cruiser, wasn't it? It wasn't a Star Destroyer, it was a cruiser, wasn't it, that we saw. Anyway, and Din Djarin walking with Zeb Orrelios, so it's going to be in this as well as Ahsoka, getting the money's worth out of that those 3D animated assets, and Grogu using the Force, obviously, because that's going to be in it, isn't it? Are we ever going to see him in a Mandalorian helmet and stuff with his ears poking out? Probably not. Right, so anyway, but I'm kind of looking forward to it. Even though the name is terrible, I'd have thought they'd have changed it. They did show the logo for the movie, and they're still calling it the Mandalorian and Grogu. There's time, I suppose, to change it, because it's not coming out till next year. Next May, I think. But it's not going to attract people to the cinema, is it? A name like that, because people won't know what it is unless they've watched the Mandalorian series. And most people going to the cinema, what they call the normies, won't have seen it, will they? They'll be saying, what's this Mandalorian and Grogu thing? It's got a Star Wars thing on it, but what does it mean? And so I don't think it'll put bums on seats. So I don't think it'll do, amazingly well. I think it'll do okay, but I don't think it'll do amazingly well. It'll do better than Solo, but it won't do as well as the sequel trilogy. I don't think. Anyway. Moving on, Star Wars Underworld footage reveals Asajj Ventress. We'd seen this before, haven't we? Because they've released trailers and stuff, haven't they? But anyway, and there she is with hair, but obviously side shave. We're still kind of in that era. Although they keep telling us, we keep being told we're moving away from the woke era. But a lot of things were in production before all these announcements were made. So there's still going to be some stuff in Doctor Who, which I've not seen. I'm not watching it. Apparently it's doing terribly, isn't it? But that's by the by. That's another video which I'm not going to do. Star Wars only recently announced that Asajj Ventress will be one of two main characters in a brand new animated show, Star Wars Tales of the Underworld. Star Wars Celebration 2025 provided considerably more insight into Tales of the Underworld, including screening an entire episode of the show titled A Way Forward. Screen Rant's description of the footage is as follows. Right, here we go. Obi-Wan Kenobi is accompanying Quinlan Vos. Oh, he's appeared in Clone Wars, hasn't he? As he lays Ventress to rest. I will always love you, I'm guessing he said. Later, Ventress is given a choice. I'm confused. By Mother Talzin's... to be resurrected. The cost is her heart's desire, which is clearly Quinlan. Okay. I honestly can't remember what happened. Did she? She must have died then. I honestly don't remember. Following the episode's title card, Ventress is shown working as security for someone who arranges transport during the Imperial era. It's odd that they're showing this at round about Easter time, isn't it? Resurrection, Sith beat. Well, she technically wasn't a Sith. She was a Sith acolyte, wasn't she? But she wasn't a Sith Lord, was she? She was Dooku's apprentice. But anyway, she wasn't a Darth Ventress, was she? Anyway. Following the episode's title card, Ventress is shown working as security for someone who arranges transport during the Imperial era. She beats someone up for pulling out a blaster. I don't want that life anymore, she says, in exactly that voice, I imagine. Ventress on bounty hunting. A young unnamed Jedi, because... Oh no, it wasn't Ventress. I couldn't say, was it Ventress that took young Boba Fett under her wing? But no, that was... I forgot her name. We saw her in Phantom Menace, didn't we? But she was in the Clone Wars. And learned that him from Solo killed her. He said, oh, you killed her. And I've forgotten the name. I will put it there when I remember it. Anyway. A young unnamed Jedi has entered and tries to do a Jedi mind trick. Copyright 1983. Lucasfilm Limited. Ventress is keeping the boy from being caught by the Empire now that he's walked inside the palace. I always said that because Jabba's like going, whoa, Jedi mind trick. You know, it's like... anyway, but so that's like, I should have a little copyright symbol next to it. Ventress is keeping the boy from being caught by the Empire now that he's walked inside the place. Ventress uses a mind trick on the stormtroopers. Kind of getting reverse Starkiller vibes there. The Path Network is mentioned by the young Jedi, Jedi, and he confirms Quinlan Vos established the Path. Ventress's interest is piqued. Oh, right. Did she go, ooh, I am piqued. Ventress fights an Inquisitor, dual-wielding with her own lightsaber and the young Jedi's own Jedi. You don't fight like a Jedi. I know who you are, Inquisitor. Who are you? No, you are. Who are you? That's a Peter Kay thing.
I know who you are. Who are you?
The Padawan kills the Inquisitor and saves Ventress. Ooh. Ventress recounts her Clone Wars life to the kid. My name is Asajj Ventress, and the episode ends. So that sounds interesting, doesn't it? I might be looking forward to that. Exclusive Clone Wars footage reveals Anakin Skywalker versus Boba Fett. Unused Star Wars The Clone Wars footage revealed an epic fight. Among the exclusive footage shown during the Star Wars celebration was a scene that never appeared in the Star Wars Clone Wars. Well, why do we care then if it wasn't in? It's just for, mildly interested people, which, to be honest, I'm not. Anakin pursuing Boba Fett in the speeder, having a fight, Boba Fett escaping, obviously, and whatever. The comics by the look. A new Knight of Ren is revealed. Star Wars, who cares? Star Wars has unveiled a brand new female Knight of Ren, of course. Don't care. Because the Knights of Ren were rubbish in the end, weren't they? Ghouls, the Dark Trooper said. Tava Ren. It's a comic, don't care. Right, Star Wars Outlaws, second DLC. I didn't even know there were a first one. And Switch 2 release revealed. I haven't even bothered with it. I've got it there. Started playing it. I can't remember how far I got. Did I get stuck? I don't know. I can't remember. I just stopped playing it. I either stopped playing it because I got stuck, or I just got bored. I might have just got bored. I honestly can't remember. But yeah, so I don't care. A Pirate's Fortune is coming out in May. So there we go. Don't care. Is that it? Is that all we've got? Right, fair enough. Anyway, they do go on with some other stories about this. That's the headlines, isn't it? The main stuff, I suppose. The main things were Sean Levy's Star Wars Starfighter movie, the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer, which we still haven't seen. I don't think it's been released on YouTube yet. When will they do it? Who knows? And what else? And that's about it, really, isn't it? I suppose that Clone Wars... sorry, not Clone Wars. Star Wars Underworld thing. The Asajj Ventress. They're about the main things, aren't they? Apparently, Kathleen Kennedy did reiterate that other Star Wars movies are in development. Not in production, in development. Which she's been saying for like the last 10 years. But anyway. Right, so we'll look at this one. We will look at this one. Why is Ryan Gosling's Star Wars movie happening before Daisy Ridley's Rey movie, which I don't think they even mentioned, when that was announced 2 years ago? Says Liz Declan. And the Star Wars Celebration 2025 began with a shocking bang when Sean Levy's Star Wars movie starring Ryan Gosling, Star Wars Starfighter, was announced. Cool name. Although it's been used before. Last Starfighter, for instance, but never mind. But what does that mean for Rey's Star Wars movie? There had been major rumours that Ryan Gosling was in talks with Star Wars, and in the days leading up to Star Wars Celebration, plus the fact that this is taking place after the rise of Palpatine. Do you think this will transmogrify into the Rey movie, or she'll make a cameo in it? But they've said it's going to be all new characters, haven't they? So who knows? But it could be a red herring, a diversion. Who knows? I'll start again. There had been major rumours that Ryan Gosling was in talks with Star Wars, even Lucasfilm, whatever. And in the days leading up to Star Wars Celebration, those rumours even turned directly towards Levy's movie. However, all of the Star Wars Celebration 2025 reveals thus far, this still felt like one of the most surprising. This became even more shocking when it was confirmed that Starfighter will be the next Star Wars movie released after The Mandalorian and Grogu. I wish they'd change that name. They should change the name of it. Call it something like something to do with the Force. Force Hunters, because there's a bounty hunter in it, or Force Bounty. Bounty of the Force. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Anyway, whatever. A Starfighter's release date is set for the May 28th, 2027, nearly my birthday. Yet this has raised major questions about Rey's Star Wars movie, rumoured to be titled Star Wars New Jedi Order. It's not going to happen. There were already many rumours the movie was delayed or even cancelled, and while that's not confirmed, the announcement of Starfighter does beg the question, why are we getting Ryan Gosling's movie before New Jedi Order when the latter was announced years ago, 2 years ago to be precise. And this is what they're talking about here. I said, they wheeled her out onto stage, didn't they? Poor Daisy Ridley. It wasn't done much. She has popped up. She's been in the... was it Death on the Nile or Murder on the Orient Express? One of those, them Kenneth Branagh films. She was in one of those, wasn't she? I think it was Murder on the Orient Express, wasn't it? I think. Whatever. That might have been Death on the Nile. I honestly can't remember. I started watching it and it got on my nerves because it was full of, modern stuff. And it's supposed to be an Agatha Christie thing, but so I didn't get very far. And she was in that film about that channel swimmer, Woman in the Ocean or whatever. Woman in the Sea. I haven't seen that. But I enjoyed The Cleaner. She was in The Cleaner, wasn't she? Was it The Cleaner or just Cleaner? Which were like kind of a die-hard thing. She played an ex-army person who did window cleaning of office buildings in London. And I quite enjoyed that, I must admit. It was a Martin Campbell film, who done a couple of James Bond films and the Zorro films. And I quite enjoyed it. He also did, unfortunately, Green Lantern. But that was alright as well, I suppose, for the most part. And I did enjoy that, The Cleaner. It was okay. I found it entertaining. So she can do action still. Anyway, whatever. But they wheeled it out, and with Ridley's consistently been asked about the movie's progress in interviews because many were expecting Star Wars to have updates on the story, the characters, and the timeline over the last 2 years. Surprisingly, though, Star Wars has seemingly made very little progress on Rey's movie. This was evident even before Star Wars Celebration, given New Jedi Order has already changed writers from Stephen Knight initially to George Nolfi now, and the fact that Ridley repeatedly said she hasn't seen the script yet. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's kind of been shoved to one side, hasn't it? They'll not say it's being cancelled, just in case. Because Kathy Kennedy did say the Taika Waititi film's still in development, and another one, which I can't remember, the James Mangold one is still in development. The one that's set, thousands of years in the past. Anyway, perhaps the most concerning aspect of the progress or lack thereof in New Jedi Order, though, has been the glaring absence of any mentions of the movie from most of Star Wars Celebration 2025's panels, announcements and discussions. Rey's movie has been mentioned in passing. Has it? Okay, well, it might have been, but I didn't watch all the streams. But it's been far from a focal point there. This is a major change from Star Wars Celebration 2023, at which Ridley was a major guest. They just wheeled it out, didn't they? Give a handful of money. Here, put a nice dress on, get out there. Everyone smile. Evidently, Star Wars isn't in a rush with Rey's movie, but why? I'm going to answer this here. Oh, here we go. For better or worse, and whether it's fair or not, the baggage that is inevitably going to come with Rey's Star Wars movie is likely a factor in the timing of Star Wars movie releases. The sequel trilogy remains perhaps the single most controversial addition to Star Wars in the franchise's nearly 50-year history. Because they were essentially rubbish. Apart from Force Awakens, which I still enjoy. Although, I do appreciate its shortcomings. But as a movie, I quite enjoy it. It's just not a great Star Wars movie. But anyway. And many consider Last Jedi and Rise of Palpatine are just awful. And many consider those movies to be among Star Wars' worst movies. I've got to admit, at the time, for a while, Force Awakens was my favourite Star Wars movie. I think I was just swept up in all the hype of it and all that. Because I did really enjoy it. But over time, it's sunk down again. The same happened with Rogue One. For a while, that was my favourite Star Wars movie. I think I just get overexcited. That's dropped down again. Although, it is still up there. Rogue One is a really good film. I don't know why some people say it's boring. I don't know how they can say that. There's tons of action in it. It's really good. I love Rogue One. Apart from Bor Gullet. They could have done without that. But never mind. The sad reality is no matter what Star Wars does with New Jedi Order, it is guaranteed to suffer from at least some backlash. Because it's following on from a divisive trilogy. That isn't meant to be defeatist, nor do I think it's reasonable for audiences to reject a new Rey movie before they even know what it's about. They should have ended Rise of Palpatine with having a red lightsaber. That old woman. Who are you? And she said, well, what are you asking for, old woman? What do you care? But instead of seeing Luke and Leia out there as Force ghosts, and igniting her yellow lightsaber. Well, I don't think she didn't ignite it, did she? Or did she? Well, she did, but not at the old woman. But she should have said, I'm Rey. Rey Palpatine. And then, the red lightsaber. And then she should have just shown a slashing. You heard the little muffled scream of the old woman as she chops her face off. That's how it should have ended. I think people would have liked that. Well, I would. I forgot where I was now. Start again. That isn't meant to be defeatist, nor do I think it's reasonable for audiences to reject a new Rey movie before they even know what it's about. But it's difficult to imagine that it isn't front of mind for Lucasfilm as they are deciding the release order for the franchise's new movies. I don't think they care. I honestly don't. I think they're just greenlighting stuff and just they don't care. They don't care about continuity or anything because Mandalorian Grogu is set in between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens. The Sean Levy film's set after Rise of Palpatine. They don't care. They're just making content. They're in the Disney Plus thing. They're just making content, but for the theatre. That's all they think of it as. They don't think of it as telling a story. It's just get some stuff out there. On the flip side of this, though, Lucasfilm has indicated that Rey is incredibly important to the future of the franchise. Yeah, of course she is. Reportedly, Lucasfilm considers Rey their most valuable cinematic asset, which is why we've not heard hide nor hair of this movie. If true, then this concern about Rey is as much a positive as it is a negative. That's just gobbledygook speaking. It's like this fella, they're on the news yesterday. I recorded it, but you can't hear him over me breathing. I'm going to put it on YouTube. There is a chap on the news, on the BBC News channel, talking about... the exact quote was, because it was about the world economy. And he said, yes, the rich have got richer and the poor have got poorer, but overall, everybody's more well off.
The rich have become richer and the poor are poorer. But overall, everyone is a little bit better off than they would have been.
And I thought, how can that be so if the poor have got poorer? That's just typical gobbledygook, isn't it? And that's a similar statement. In both cases, the stakes are simply much lower for Ryan Gosling's Star Wars movie, especially because it has already been confirmed to be a standalone movie. The franchise will not be riding on the success of Starfighter, and while Star Wars will of course want that movie to do well, I think it'll do better than The Mandalorian and Grogu, to be honest. It's got a zippier title, hasn't it? It isn't quite the same demand that New Jedi Order will bring. In fact, even outside Rey's importance as a character, this movie will presumably define the future of Star Wars by establishing the franchise's New Jedi Order, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, okay. So they're basically going on, they're saying, yes, they've got to do it. No, they haven't. And I don't think they will. I think they're going to send the post sequel trilogy era. I think is going to go in the direction of if Starfighter gets made, which it looks like it's going to get made. It's going to go in that direction with new characters rather than the ones that were in the sequel trilogy. So they'll get mentioned. I think Rey and all them are getting Poe Dameron and all them. They'll get mentioned. Maybe even have little cameos, but the films won't be about them. That's what I think is going to happen. So there we go. So yeah. So that's basically the gist of it. Star Wars Celebration. The main news that came out was Star Wars Starfighter with Ryan Gosling starring in it. He's a star in it. People like him. I'm not a fan, but I'm sure he'll do. I'm sure he'll be okay. The Mandalorian and Grogu movie they're ramping up the hype for that now, are they? I think we'll see the trailer soon on YouTube, and apparently it's really good. And the Star Wars Underworld, that's it, game DLCs, and they've announced that the Maul animated series, and there's other little things, other game releases and stuff like that, comics and all that. But a bit of an underwhelming Star Wars Celebration, to be completely honest. But anyway, so there we go. Right, so we'll leave it there. As I said, I think they're going to put all their eggs into the Star Wars Starfighter basket. I don't think the James Mangold film is going to progress any further. I don't think the Rey movie is going to progress any further. I'm sure there were another one the Taika Waititi. I don't think the Taika Waititi one's going to happen either. Yeah, so I think they've got to make a decision, haven't they? They can't just keep doing things all over the place. I think they'll get the Mandalorian and Grogu one out of the way. That'll be done with. And then they'll carry on with the Ahsoka on TV, because it's in the same era, isn't it? Then they'll put for the movies, they'll move into the post-sequel trilogy with the Starfighter. It'll be the Starfighter, even though they've not said it's a trilogy, because there's supposed to be another trilogy being done, isn't there? Simon Kinberg got a trilogy. Was that mentioned? Can't remember. But I think it'll go in that direction. I think that's what they'll do with new characters. I wonder what it'll be called. It'll have some cool. One about Ryan Gosling. It'll have some cool Star Wars name, won't it? It'll be called. I'm trying to think now. I'm trying to think of something that hasn't been done before. I'm going to say, Rex Floor Jab or something like that. Whatever that means, I don't know. But we've had a Rex, haven't we? Right, so we'll leave it there. So thanks for watching, and wherever you are, look after each other. May the Force be with you, and until next time, I'll say this.